BBC News. Hello, I'm Jerry Smith. Britain's main opposition party, Labour, says it will now support an early general election, meaning the UK is almost certain to go to the polls in December. It comes as the Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, gears up for his fourth attempt in Parliament to secure a snap election. The Labour leader, Jeremy Corbyn, told his colleagues that with Brexit delayed until the end of January, the immediate threat of leaving without a deal had been removed.
We always said we wanted an election, we do want an election, but we wanted no deal to be taken off the table. We've now had confirmation from all 28 EU member states that no deal is off the table, so we're going to go out there with the biggest campaign this party has ever mounted, totally united, totally determined.
With this analysis, here's our political correspondent, Rob Watson.
This is one of those genuine, real, historic, landmark developments in the 3.5-year political crisis that is the Brexit process, because this means definitively we are going to have an early general election before Christmas. What's changed for the opposition Labour Party is this idea that it's just impossible any longer to resist an election, that some of the smaller opposition parties have gone along with it, and that what they had asked for, which was to make sure that there wasn't going to be an imminent no-deal Brexit, well, that has been handled by the European Union saying, OK, we're going to extend the Brexit process until the end of January.
Reports from the Iraqi city of Karbala say that a number of people have been killed and many more wounded during anti-government protests overnight. Our Arab Affairs editor, Sebastian Osher, reports.
The situation in Karbala remains unclear, but a number of medical sources and eyewitnesses, backed up by videos, suggest that at least 18 people have been killed and hundreds wounded in clashes with the security forces. Videos show people running from gunfire, while others show people being beaten as they protest. Local officials have denied the report, saying that no one has been killed and the videos are faked. But it does seem as if the excessive force that was used earlier this month when protests first erupted has again been practiced, despite a government report criticising the security operation then as heavy-handed and out of control.
The Afghan government has demanded a one-month ceasefire by the Taliban before the start of any peace negotiations. The National Security Advisor, Hamdullah Mohib, said the cessation of hostilities would prove whether the Taliban had control over their battlefield commanders. The boss of the American aircraft manufacturer Boeing is due to give evidence at a congressional hearing later today about the company's troubled 737 MAX plane. It'll be the first time Dennis Muhlenberg will have been questioned by senators since the plane was involved in 2 fatal crashes within the space of 5 months. Relatives of some of the more than 300 people killed are expected to attend. World News from the BBC. Federal prosecutors in Germany have charged 2 alleged former Syrian intelligence officials with committing crimes against humanity in Syria. Here's Danny Aberhard.
The 2 men, named as Anwar R. and Iyad A., were arrested in February, having arrived in Germany in 2014 and 2018 respectively. Anwar R. is accused of running an investigations unit at a Syrian prison in which at least 4,000 people were interrogated and tortured between 2011 and 2012. He's charged with the murder of 58 people, as well as rape and sexual assault. Detainees were beaten, some having been suspended from the ceiling by their wrists, given electric shocks and violently deprived of sleep for days. Iyad A. is accused of working under him to detain at least 30 demonstrators who were then tortured.
A train supervisor in Egypt has been charged with murder after forcing 2 young hawkers to jump off the moving train for having no tickets and being unable to pay a fine of $4.50 each. One of the men died, while the other was badly injured. An international conference is being held in Geneva about the dangers posed by global warming to high mountain environments. The conference is being hosted by the World Meteorological Organization. Imogen Folks reports.
The world's highest mountains provide an environmental early warning system. Especially sensitive to climate change, the message they are sending is worrying. Glaciers supply the water in our rivers for us to drink, for our crops, to generate electricity, to cool nuclear power stations. But the glaciers are melting faster every year. The 2-day meeting aims to identify policies to sustain high mountain communities and to protect them from environmental disaster.
BBC News.